Let's bring in Ross Gerber, President and CEO at Gerber Kawasaki Wealth and Investment Management. Okay, let's talk about the video, Ross. Firstly, of you behind the wheel with what seemed to be full self-driving in the Tesla. You came up on a stop sign. It looked to me like you were quick on your reflexes to hit the brake, but it also looked to me like the Tesla was going to go through. Well, am I watching it wrong or what?
Yeah, it's funny that I've never had so much scrutiny of my driving in my life, and I was telling my wife I'm like scared to drive around now. If I crash, everybody's going to be like, Ross crashed his car on the news, So we took Dan O'Dowd for a ride on full self-driving in Santa Barbara last week, and we drove for like an hour all through Santa Barbara without any disengagements through the entire ride. It was really one of the best full self-driving drives we've ever had. And we'll be releasing our video this week, so you'll be able to see in real life like what really happened the entire drive, not just the end when I was trying to take Dan home. So after an hour of dealing with this guy and not having any disengagements, I was like, I'm just going to take you home because like I don't think there's much else to do. So I was like kind of rushing to get him home. And when you drive in LA or in California, people do kind of crazy stuff. And when I was pulling up to that stop sign, the line for the stop sign was about 30 feet past the actual sign. So it looks like you're blowing through the stop sign, but the actual line for the intersection was about 30 feet past the stop sign. So when the lady turned in front of me, I just took over because she had cut into my lane. Like I didn't even really think about it. I disengaged from autopilot in LA every time I use it. So it was really a non-event. So because Dan knows that our video will show an hour of just incredible full self-driving with him in the car observing this, he's trying to jump the gun and put out a bunch of FUD. But, we all know the truth, and the truth was on video.
So it seems like your point is that there's an hour-long video of the FSD working just fine. Why misrepresent the session by clipping the bit where there's this bit of a kerfuffle? I gotta say,
I was like, I need to show an example of disengaging. I was trying to find a scenario where I would have to do it. And because the other humans were involved and the lady cut me off a little bit, she kind of cut both of us off, I just disengaged. But once again, that's a reaction as a driver you would just take anyways. And that's why the safety features of full self-driving exist in the first place. It doesn't say sit in the back seat and we'll drive you home. It's saying you have to pay very close attention. But if you actually look at the video itself, you can see when full self-driving's engaged that it says that is stopping for stop sign. So the car was preparing to stop. It was just going to stop over where the line was, not where the sign was. And because the lady had cut into us, I just took over. It wasn't really a thought process.
Well, that was my response, and I do think it's worth some time to talk about this, frankly, because it's such a big deal for Tesla, the potential of this FSD, especially in the middle of this AI conversation, and the fact that really, of course, it only takes one mistake for there to be a major incident. It looked to me like your reaction speed was very good from the driver's perspective, because the fact that by the time that stop ended, the cars had to stop in the intersection because you were so close. At least it looked close to collision from the viewer's standpoint, that if you hadn't hit that brake, there was going to be a collision if the Tesla was on its own. Would that have been the case?
No, not at all. Once again, I disengaged soon enough that I don't know what the Tesla would have done, nor was I going to try. You see what I'm saying? Like, the purpose of the software is not to try it out on humans who are not a part of this test. You know what I'm saying? So, when you drive as a beta tester, you're not supposed to be like, oh, let's see how it does with the other humans in this intersection. So there was no thought process, and that's what I'm saying. You just drive safely. So at no time was anybody at risk of crashing. That is the misinterpretation of the video. At no time was anybody at any risk of crashing, and we were going very slow. In fact, it was 35 miles per hour, and then I hit the brakes and we stopped immediately. It's a very high-performing car, but I didn't slam on the brakes. Nobody skid. Nobody honked. The lady didn't honk. Nobody. It was a pretty normal actual intersection in California that happens every day with humans driving. And, you know, I just made sure it was going to be safe. I don't think there's much more to it.
So you think the Tesla would have stopped at the stop sign? Would it have made it? Or are you saying that?
Yeah, I think the Tesla would have stopped. No, the Tesla would have stopped from the other vehicle cutting us off, because the vehicle had cut in front of where the line of where the stop sign was. So it would have stopped because the other vehicle cut us off. So it ideally would have just stopped because it would not hit another vehicle. You see what I'm saying? Okay. But I didn't want to test that. I mean, do you want to test that with your body? You know.
No, thanks. Well, it's it's a function that's on a vehicle you can buy and drive around now. So I mean,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So
Tesla, like when I've had other incidences which happen fairly often driving on full self-driving, and even if you're not on full self-driving, I've had it happen where like somebody cut me off or somebody stopped short and the car braked on its own as quickly as I hit the brake. You know, now in this situation, I did take control and hit the brake. That was me. It was definitely not the car. But I don't know if I would have let it run for another like second. If it, I'm pretty sure it would have just stopped because it's always done that in the past. But once again, it's the goal of the software, and the whole point of this is that by having beta testers in the car observing this, that you're not creating accidents with innocent people. This is exactly the point of why Tesla has made this as safe as possible to test this critical life-saving technology. And that's what I think Dan is trying so hard to obfuscate, is that he doesn't want people to really see the full drive. And trust me, we've got this all. Like, my team is working on it day and night right now because, you know, we want to show everybody the real ride, and Dan definitely doesn't want you to see it. So look for this video. It's going to be great. It really is a summary of the entire hour drive without any incident. And, you know, I think full self-driving technology has come a long way. And this version 11.4.4 was very impressive that day. And I think, you know, people should just calm down and just wait.
Do you think there's any connection to the stock softening up, or is that an exaggeration? I don't know.
That'll be the day. That'll be the day. If you want to stroke my ego, that's the way you do it. Yeah, me stopping at a stop sign is moving stock prices now. No, people have been downgrading Tesla. You see the same movement in NVIDIA today. It's a sell the AI stock day. You know, no big deal. It's normal after a huge run up.
All right. Okay. Nice catch on the stop sign, Ross. Quick on your feet.
Yeah, I'm a good driver, you know, but I have to say, I do test the hardest driving in driving through LA in traffic, full self-driving every day. I'm an excellent driver. Thank you for that observation. I will be playing this clip for my wife. I'm going to play this for my wife.
I appreciate the catch up, Ross.
Yeah, take care. Thanks for having me.